The problem is there is money in Jamaica, but only a few people are benefiting from the money. Only a handful of people are actually experiencing or beneficiaries of the wealth that is in Jamaica. So that what you have is a big disparity between the rich and the poor. I feel that Jamaica, if the People's National Party don't win the next general election, Jamaica is going to be the next Haiti. Mark my words.
Mr. Speaker, there have been much talk by the government about designating Portmore a parish. On the surface of it, it seems a very simple thing, which no one should be detained by. Regrettably, it is not. Rather, Mr. Speaker, it's a sinister attempt to reintroducing that age-old and universally abandoned practice of gerrymandering the parish boundaries of St. Catherine. This sinister and anti-democratic relic of gerrymandering would reverse the arrangements of a municipal structure lobbied and fought for by the residents and stakeholders of Portmore. A structure that emanated from years of widespread consultations across the length and breadth of Portmore. The people did not create the Portmore municipality. The PNP did not create the Portmore municipality. The PNP merely facilitated the expressed desire and aspiration of the people of Portmore to have their wisdom and intellect prescribe what they want. Absolutely. Yes, it is a fact that the PNP has been more successful at the polls generally, more than the JLP has been. The PNP administration facilitated that realization because we respect the will and the intelligence of the people we serve. And because we don't see ourselves as their masters, but as their servants. Interestingly, in this same construct, since 2003, the JLP has won control of the Spanish Town municipality once, because the political pendulum had swung in their favor. That was in 2007. It was the JLP administration, led by the then Prime Minister Golding, who had flown the idea of making Portmore into a parish during the campaign leading up to the 2007 general elections. However, I gather that after assessment of a requested extensive study done by the EOJ, the idea was abandoned for the rest of the term of their office. Not having ever won a majority of the seats in the Portmore municipality and only winning the mayorship there once, the current administration decided to use its parliamentary majority to unilaterally manipulate the boundaries of the two Portmore parliamentary seats and separating Portmore from the parish of St. Catherine. In so doing, they sought to unilaterally determine constituency boundaries by removing communities that traditionally voted for the PNP. They seek to go further and separate Portmore from the rest of St. Catherine. By removing the Portmore councillors from St. Catherine municipality, they figure their chances of taking control of that municipality would be improved. This plot was clear to us from the very beginning, and we said so. And this was continuously denied by the government. Then, alas, the former senior cabinet minister and member from Southwest St. Catherine, in celebration of the sinister plot, affirmed publicly that the JLP will take control of the St. Catherine municipality and will not lose the East Central seat ever again, because they now will be getting the boundary changes they wanted. On record. On record. Mr. Speaker, the public statement since then was never refuted by the Prime Minister. Never refuted by the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, I sought to table questions in this House to the Prime Minister on that matter. Unfortunately, Madam Speaker denied me from tabling those questions to the Prime Minister. Denied me of tabling those questions to the Prime Minister. Subsequent to the former cabinet minister's revelation and presumed embarrassment to the government, the Prime Minister announced on January 17th this year at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Portmore Resilience Park that the government would not proceed with the sinister plan before the upcoming local government elections. And widespread consultation would precede any further steps. We applauded that decision and was happy that good sense prevailed, at least for a while. Mr. Speaker, to the residents' surprise and without any notice, shortly after the recent local government elections, the Prime Minister, in a seeming vexed mood, announced in this House that the government will make Portmore into a parish. The same announcement that said consultations will take place. Mr. Speaker, it appears that the Prime Minister was fraught with deep disappointment from the massive defeat in the recent elections in Portmore. After investing so much effort in visits to various sections of Portmore leading up to the elections. For my over 30 years involvement in elections in Portmore, I have never seen so many visits leading up to any elections, and more so a local government election. At least 9 such visits within an approximate 2-month period. The margin of victory of all PNP seats won were the largest ever over the last 20 years, including that of the mayor, which is right across all 12 divisions of all 3 parliamentary seats in Portmore, even without the areas being kept out of the current recommended boundaries by the EOJ from 2011. Mr. Speaker, the construct we have in Portmore is in fact different from what prevailed elsewhere, and it reflects what the people wanted. Among those things is Portmore remaining part of St. Catherine and directly electing their own mayor, and not one selected from among the party having a majority. Mr. Speaker, all it is, one parish with 2 separate local municipality authorities. This is opposite to the one municipality of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation with 2 separate parishes. Both cases are very different, but fulfilling the particular circumstances that prevail. Mr. Speaker, the People's National Party position is clear. The present construct of the Portmore municipality represents the express will of the people and must be respected. If they, the people, through adequate and transparent process of consultation, clearly indicate they wish to have some changes to what they created, so shall it be. Anything less than that will be resisted by the People's National Party in the streets or in the courts if necessary.
That's right.
What is being pursued, Mr. Speaker, by the government goes far beyond just Portmore, which seeks to turn back what this country has achieved over the past 44 years in detribalizing our electoral process. It is a regrettable and dangerous retrograde path that all well-thinking and decent persons must resist. Mr. Speaker, we know what happened in the 80s. We know what happened with the tribalized politics. And we on both sides have worked together to create the EOJ, to non-tribalize the creation of political boundaries. 44 years going, we have achieved that. Why this government would want to turn that back? I ask. Yes, it is my beef. Mr. Speaker, it is all about preserving our hard-earned democratic process in this country and respect the will and desire of the residents of Portmore who are being treated with contempt. Evil prevails when good people fail to act. We will act. In recent times, we hear the Prime Minister saying that his government is a listening government. Great. Recently in this House, I listened to a presentation by the Prime Minister. And no less than 13 times, he said how much his government is listening to the people. I reflected and I wondered what the Prime Minister and his government has against the people of Portmore. Why he refuses to listen to us? After all, every time he comes to Portmore to speak to us, we are always respectful and courteous, even when we strongly disagree at times. Mr. Speaker, some years ago, Mr. Speaker, the matter of Portmore, you see, he has lost his fiver since February 26. All fivers. And he has seen the writing on the wall. And those are not my words. The numbers speak for itself. The numbers speak for.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Michelle, and if you're watching me for the first time, kindly don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. So guys, in the video you all have watched Jamaican government being exposed. Jamaican government has become greedy. Jamaican government has become corrupt. People in Jamaica are crying because their government is taking their taxes and squandering their money. In Jamaica, most of their leaders have dual citizenship, which means being a citizen of more than one country. So most of the leaders who are in Jamaica have US citizenship and Jamaican citizenship, so that when they steal Jamaicans' money, they go and invest in US government, which brings Jamaica down. We all know when we are electing those leaders, they all give us fake promises, which makes us fall into their traps. They promise us heaven, and when they are in that seat, they forget about the promises and start stealing from us. They only think about their family, they only think about themselves, they only care about their family and forget the local people who voted for them. And this leader mostly take their children to schools that are abroad, which have a better schooling, better foundation, have a good foundation, and become ignorant and isolate the schools that are within their countries because their children are having the best education. They allow the schools around them to not develop by not employing good teachers, or by not employing enough teachers who are able to teach and help them to grow a country. We all know when leaders want to be elected, they all promise the youth job opportunities. But when they get that chance, they forget the promises they made to the youth, which sometimes leads to demonstrations that kill a lot of people, that lead to destruction of properties, leads to building being burnt down and roads being demolished, which brings our countries down. We all know when leaders are being elected, we all need leaders who gives us whatever they promised before they were elected. We all need leaders who create job opportunities, who create good environment for people to live, who think about their people, who prioritize their people. Majority of Jamaicans are very tired of the current government, and some of them have come out and exposed the dirty works that the current government is doing. We all know that there are some people who are supporting the government and there are some people who are not supporting the government. So guys, I am not here to offend anyone, and if I'm offending anyone, I'm really sorry. Most of the leaders have built a lot of hotels, apartments, are investing with big companies, are investing our money with. We all know that a lot of leaders are investing in other countries, building apartments, building companies in other countries, which drags the country down and does not create job opportunities in that country, which leads to the youth to crime, and crime leads to death or being imprisoned, which whereby if they were creating job opportunities in our country, the crime rates could have reduced. In African countries and Caribbean countries, we all know the rate of unemployment is very high. For you to get a job in Africa or in the Caribbean countries, you need to have a lot of money or you need to have connections, which leads to a lot of high rate of unemployment, because people feel like without that money you can't have a job, and a lot of students are dropping out of school because they feel like them learning won't help, since they don't have money or they don't have relatives who are in the government, so they can't get that job. So they decide to end their education and do something else to earn a living. And guys, all leaders should be like Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore is an African leader who is being admired by African countries and Caribbean countries. He's becoming a role model. He is that one leader who doesn't allow corruption. He's that one leader who thinks about the people of his country. He's that one leader who knows where he came from. He's that one leader who keeps his promises, which shows people that there are real leaders out here, real leaders like Ibrahim Traore, who will lead us with justice. At this era, we all have to choose leader in a right way. We have to stop choosing leaders because of tribe. We have to stop choosing leaders because they are coming from the same area with us. We should choose leaders who will help the country. We should choose leaders who will stop corruption. We should choose leaders who will never forget where he or she came from. We are praying God should give us the knowledge and wisdom to understand and elect good leaders. So guys, if it was for the first time coming across this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and even comment. Let's meet on the next video. Bye.
I say